In a world of shiny helmets, spandex jumpsuits, and strange monsters, these heroes force feed you a bowl of awesome that is the Tokudon Podcast. Join Carl and Rob as they haphazardly welcome you to the exciting genre of Tokusatsu. Now, open wide.
I crack every part of my body. It sounds like a bag of popcorn.
Hello, friends.
Hi, guys.
Hello.
Sorry, I'm old. I am old.
So old. Why you do it?
But hey, welcome back to Tokudon, guys. Welcome back.
Welcome back. How is everyone this fine Saturday? Random.
Oh, man, we're off.
Random day.
We're off schedule. We're off schedule, dude. What's up?
The moon is. I was told the moon is in Virgo yesterday at the office. I think that has. I don't know what that means at all. I don't follow. Whatever. It's a full moon. It's in Virgo. Whatever. But
I know
apparently
people
that means
abide
people
by
are
astrology.
crazy.
Yeah, I get it. People abide by astrologic things like, oh my god. So,
Like,
yeah.
If you have a horse associated with your birthday, you meet this generic personality trait that everyone has. But it totally speaks to me, okay? It speaks specifically to me.
Zodiac, Chinese Zodiac, I think I was born year of the tiger, something like that. And and every time that comes up in the topic, that explains a lot. You're such a social butterfly. And I'm like, yeah.
So
I don't like awkward silences.
My favorite part about this is like, I am a Virgo. I was a year of the horse, whatever. Their whole thing is being like perfectionists, right?
Oh,
I'm not. I am very. If you guys haven't figured it out, I am very much a go with the flow kind of person.
you do get hyper focus OCD.
It's true. I do.
Yeah.
And it's usually about some random thing because I need to distract my brain from the severe depression. But that's a whole other topic.
But yeah, we'll get that. That's a topic that we deal with Dr. Lipschitz with.
Speaking of severe depression, you know what cured it last week?
What's that?
I actually meant to bring this up because they had this Sony State of Play. This is the game I texted you about the other day.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's called Exoprimal. I wanted to bring it up last episode, but I completely forgot. We took a look at the State of Play on one of the streams we were doing during the week. And this game, please pull up a trailer while I tell you about it. Exoprimal. It is by Capcom. As of right now, it seems to be PS5 exclusive. It's probably coming out on the other stuff too. But imagine if they took the corpse of Dino Crisis, the corpse, I'm going to say corpse. That series is long dead.
Corpse.
The corpse of Dino Crisis. And then they took the corpse of Anthem. Which is
you had me at Dino Crisis.
Yes.
So
they took these two corpses and then they Frau Tucker alchemied them together.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Frau Tucker, the dog man. From Full
I
Metal.
I get it. So that's like a horrifying expression, but people are gonna get it.
Yeah, they Frau Tuckered those two corpses together, and they made this beautiful, beautiful machination that is the Exoprimal. It is.
Right.
Oh my god!
All right, so I am sharing the official, and I'm sharing another link.
It is absurd. The trailer is essentially giant. There's a bunch of velociraptors just pouring out of like a dark hole butthole.
All right, I'm queuing it up now. So here we go. It's starting up 2043. So we got a little bit. I hope you have your stuff ready. See, I'm already done because I see an android. There's already androids, bro. Come on. Ooh.
Yes. So there is all kinds of crazy sci-fi nonsense, and the third-person stuff in particular, very, very, very much looks exactly like Anthem.
So he's like, it very much looks like a male Samus, angrier male Samus.
But
dinosaurs are raining from the sky
from the black hole. Yeah.
Dinosaurs are raining from a black hole in the sky.
Yep.
That's
So these suits, not only do they look like the suits from Anthem,
yes,
and not only do you have these dinosaurs raining from the sky, so these cinematic moments where you're walking around this garage cockpit looking thing are verbatim the things from Anthem, like shot for shot almost. It looks like the Anthem trailers and the cinematics in the story mode, almost shot for shot. Kind of ridiculous. And there is a female with red hair running around who is unnamed. So a lot of people right now are thinking this could possibly be a Dino Crisis universe thing. Whether it's not called Dino Crisis, but
so you're thinking that's like a Regina.
Yeah, so they're thinking there's that kind of thing. But let's talk about how this is a bunch of mech suits fighting a wave horde mode of dinosaurs.
All right, so I'm putting up a screen right here where I just found. Oh my god, dude! They literally have a hero pose. Hold on, I gotta crop this because there's too much info on here for you guys. Sorry, but holy. Okay, boom. You're telling me I can pilot a mobile suit, mobile armor.
Mobile armor. Let's clarify. It's not a mech. It's a mobile armor.
Mobile armor. So there's like I see 1, 2, 3, 4, at least 5 of them here.
Yep.
And I'm assuming these are the classes.
Yes.
So you have a yellow guy that looks like.
So let me put this in perspective for people not understanding the Anthem comparison here. You have our man in the middle, our orange and black kind of standard military suit. He looks like he has some kind of like shotgun or assault rifle. He is your ranger, which is literally a class in Colossi. That's not the name of the class. I don't know the name of the classes here, but that's your ranger. You have the Colossus on the right, which is our big yellow man here. My preferred class. Even in Anthem, my preferred class. Colossus. Yes. Okay. And then you have the, they called it Spectre, I think, to the left. We have our dual blade fast man. He is clearly going to be your ninja, extra speedy, whatever. That's your dude there.
Get out, popper.
Exactly. Your crit dude. Your run in, DPS, that kind of thing.
Okay.
Behind them, we have someone with a giant cannon, which I am going to assume is your elementalist kind of thing. Your artillery, your backup, heavy weapons expert. And then we have the flying thing, which in Anthem is your mage. So I'm going to assume it's a mage of some kind.
So even though it's basically you're saying that, does that mean it's going to be bad, or are they taking the best parts of it?
I hope they take the best parts of it. I genuinely loved Anthem. It is not without its faults. It had some serious issues, especially when it came to grinding and things like that. But the core game was fun. Like you ran around in an exosuit, literally. You leveled it up, you swapped out abilities, you did all kinds of cool stuff. In this, you can apparently also, I don't know if you can switch suits on the fly, but you can switch roles. So I'd be curious if that means you can take your Colossus and make them like a melee monster, or you can pop up, the force shield and just watch things run into it. So I don't know if it's like that, or if you're jumping between suits. You know what I mean? So this game got me stupid excited. It is the only thing really in the state of play that got me stupid excited because it is the most me game ever.
I hadn't seen the trailer until just right now, and dude, it's raining it's raining dinosaurs, guys. How else can that not get your heart excited?
Exactly.
Raptors.
Exactly.
Angry blue raptors.
Big angry blue raptors. Yeah, that game I completely forgot to mention it. I was like, nope, we got to make time. It is.
That's fine, yeah.
Beautiful.
Always time for the angry blue raptors, dude. That's dope.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of the excitement to play, I haven't started it yet, but I wanted to run it by some of our friends here before I actually start, because I just grabbed Elden Ring for myself. Now I'm deciding on what build. You already gave me a couple of your suggestions. I'll see what else anybody can dabble in, because I'm a big fan of the speed, boppers. Of course, I don't have any cannons in this game.
There is a cannon. There's a cannon.
Yay.
Yeah, it's called the jar cannon. You literally load a cannonball and fire it.
I have a cannon, guys, so I know what aim I'm building towards. So how do I get this?
You have a cannon, and then you also have a big dumb laser. So you have the two things that you like most in this game.
I'm done. I'm okay with everything now.
Yeah.
I cannot wait to play this damn game.
Yeah, it's gonna be sick.
Yeah.
Oh, also you have your Twin Prince sword, except now it's a straight sword and it fires that big dumb laser. So, yeah.
We'll play.
That's the one. Play. That's the one.
We'll have to show everybody, because when I get that, I'm gonna be so giddy.
Yeah. There's setups right now where you can just literally hold the button down and you don't run out of mana, and you can just fire. It's literally a Kamehameha wave, and you just fire it, and you just let it go for a couple seconds, for like 30 seconds. It's just
maybe that's where it all came from, bro. It all came from Goku's Kamehameha. Why I'm obsessed with the big cannon wave.
Yep.
Has to be.
Yep.
Has to be. Anyway, other than that, I have just been waiting to play. I had to get through work, and now, if anybody who's shared in the folder for the Tokudon project, I gave it a overhaul for what it currently is. I hope everybody gets to check it out. It's definitely shaping up. I have the voice actors in line, ready to rock. Things are looking good. I got the final design for Anzen, and maybe I'll put that up in the Discord. But this is going to be the character.
The world premiere.
World premiere of Kamen Rider Anzen, and we'll just do the whole triple layout there. So
since you're talking about Elden Ring and things like that as well, I would also slightly suggest the Frenzy Flame, and I'll just leave you to imagine what that is in your brain.
I mean, you had me at Blood Flame earlier, but
Blood and Frenzy Flame. Just
Frenzy Flame.
Just throwing words out there.
Pique your interest. You just expect your phone to be blowing up once I get the cannon, and then just gonna be like screenshots of me just blowing everything.
So this is Kamen Rider Anzen. This is Rob's character, opposed to the one that you guys have seen all over the channel at this point.
Yes.
We will start incorporating that more. I am excited to finally have your Kamen Rider face all over this stuff. So,
finally, yeah. Took a little bit, but I mean, if anybody could tell from the design, I took the influences from Gundam and some of these SWAT tactical things that I like the most about the SCP world, and just kind of made a hodgepodge and let Ash do his thing. I mean, the dude's a genius. He somehow took the madness that I came up with in a freaking PowerPoint and gave me that. So I hope you guys like it. I love it, absolutely. I can't wait for the project to start taking up. I have a couple characters lined up. We have another two riders and some kaijus. So that'll be coming up soon, pretty much.
Very cool. I like the contrast to our two characters too. I think these definitely have a different vibe at the same time, but they also I think they feel like they fit together, almost like a Kuga
like a
and GX kind of thing.
Yeah, I definitely the G4 type. G3. Sorry. I wanted the tech feel, because if I were to have one, I know I as much as I'm opposed to actual robots, I like tech. So
hey, Iron Man suits are not robots, okay? They are eventually, but the first one he made was not a robot.
The clunker.
The clunker. Yeah, that's all. It's a streamlined clunker. That's all.
Yeah, but it's kind of dope, because the way I designed this in universe, the base of this, he has his own flair on this base, which is kind of like the Ghost plat or the Deno platform.
Yeah.
Where you can see the attachments per Imagine. Yep. So under the red flares would be the base security force Anzen, or security force form. Yeah. But his would be the Anzen flare.
I like it. I like it a lot. You did good. You done good.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah.
I'm excited. So so that brings us to today.
Yeah. There is one more thing I checked out this week, because I would be hard pressed if I did not mention it. It is, since it has to do with sort of Elden Ring. It's another Souls game called Strangers of Paradise. Have you seen anything about this game?
So I think I kicked it to the crew the other day. Yeah, bro. I'm just getting into playing games, so I'm just kind of picking and choosing. I know I was gonna go with Elden Ring, but I was interested in Strangers of Paradise. But I watched it first because I'm like, I see it's like a Souls game.
Yes. So this is developed by Team Ninja, who have done the Ninja Gaiden series.
It is. Games. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Okay. They most recently, since Ninja Gaiden is kind of dead in the water right now, have been working on the Neo games, which are very similar to Souls. They are essentially like Samurai Souls games. They are strictly a samurai aesthetic as opposed to a Western one. They are fantastic. Yeah. Neo 2 is actually one of my favorite Souls games ever, right underneath Bloodborne and I guess Elden Ring now. But Neo 2 is quite possibly the perfect arcade version of a Souls game. It is very arcadey. It is very cool. The combat is what you would expect from like the Ninja Gaiden developers.
Is it as punishing as Ninja Gaiden?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh boy.
Yep. Ooh. So just imagine the Ninja Gaiden flair on Dark Souls, and that's what you get. So it is very cool.
So I highly suggest those games. How is Neo not more reputable if it's like that freaking hard?
It's one of those things where it's like it's not Souls. That's what it comes down to essentially.
Really?
Yeah.
But you would equate it to being
of the Souls genre, the action RPG, whatever you want to call it, of the Souls genre, it is my second favorite, and it bounces back and forth between that and Bloodborne all the time. Elden Ring is the definitive one right now, but yeah, Neo 2 is quite fantastic. But Strangers of Paradise, oh Lord, let me tell you. So this, if anyone has seen anything about Strangers of Paradise, is do you remember protagonists in the like late PS2, 360, PS3 era?
You mean guys like Godhand, Dante,
Marcus Phoenix, all these dudes,
guys who don't know what the difference is between gravel and chewing gum.
Yes, exactly. So your main character, Jack Garland, is exactly that type of character. He has he the personality and everything, and I feel like originally when they kind of promoted this game, they didn't realize how hard they should have steered into it, so they steered into it harder. He is the biggest edgelord I have ever seen in a video game.
So, should we do spoilers? Because I think we're just going to do spoilers, right?
What? For what? This game?
For this game. Yeah.
Oh, they have already said that he's Garland, literally.
Okay.
They said it in marketing.
I didn't, because when I'm interested in something, I don't watch the trailers. Yeah. I saw that the game was coming out. I wanted to play it, and I didn't know anything of it just going into it.
Yeah.
So I'm watching this, and I'm like, wow, this is like bananas for Final Fantasy, because it starts its time shenanigans. You've got your pseudo alien allegories, and I'm like, oh, okay, so
that's
it's
Final Fantasy 1 for you.
I was like, oh wow, and it's been since I played Final Fantasy 1 that I'm like, wow, I don't remember anything about the plot.
Yep.
But so we go through the whole story, and I'm like, wow, that's pretty cool how they're revealing like the monsters have like these things are actually the monsters, and I'm like, oh shit, that's kind of dope. And the battle is so cool, bro. Like I know it's got the vibes of remake, but it's
Souls combat. So this goes back to the Souls combat, and why I mentioned Neo is because it is a much more arcadey version, right? So any Final Fantasy action game, not just the turn-based, like an action game, has this very like low gravity feel to it, and I don't mean that negatively. It is what it is. You know, they're bringing Cloud whips this ginormous sword around like it weighs 2 pounds, that kind of thing. And this follows suit with that, so it uses this kind of low gravity to make faster, more interesting combat. So it's not like you're hucking a huge sword around in Dark Souls. Even in Dark Souls, ultra great swords are slow, but they make up for it for splatting people, all that kind of thing.
Yeah,
you're not talking like Monster Hunter levels of like this thing is like your standard class is the big dumb greatsword class. So you're just whipping it around like crazy. It's pretty cool. There is smaller swords, but that's your standard class.
So he's wielding it like Siegfried in Nightmare.
Essentially,
like,
yes.
It's like, but the whole thing was just so weird that I gave it the whole playthrough. I'm like, okay, whatever. We'll get to whatever this is going to build up to. As always, Final Fantasy usually does like the inverse, where it's all like kind of normal and then it's all banana fuck.
Yeah.
But this was just Japanese bananas all the way through.
I decided to put this in the dub because I thought that would just add to the cornball, honestly.
Oh, it was amazing. That's how I watched it. Yeah, I didn't watch it in Japanese.
You can select Japanese if you want, but I watched it in the dub because I thought, again, it would just add to the cornball.
It was amazing.
And yes, the whole thing, I'm just giggling through the entire thing. And one cutscene. So after the end of the first level, you find your fourth party member. And she she's in the Garland armor, but you know, it's not her, whatever. It's like an hour in spoiler. It's really not that big of a deal. And then she starts to say this big soliloquy where like, chaos isn't a person. Chaos is, you know, a concept and humans giving their heart to darkness. And everyone is like, wow, that's crazy. I don't think so. And then they like pan over to Jack and he has earpods in. Yeah. Like straight up earpods. And then he goes, bullshit. Turns around, turns the music on his phone and walks away. I was like, oh my God.
Listen, they do not hold back with F-bombs and cusses in this. Jack is a potty mouth Marcus Phoenix new age jackass. Like he's everything. In their face.
Yeah. This chick is like, I have my people. I have to protect them from chaos. I took this burden on myself. Bullshit.
Yep.
Kicks on the metal.
Like legit. So you have the adventure with all the group and basically at the end of it, you come to realize that this is just a freaking prequel.
Yep.
Like and normally, you know, I despise prequels, but I'm like, yo, that's not bad. They turned Garland that Garland will knock you all down, Garland.
Yeah.
Into a tragic villain.
I believe in like Dissidia and all the other like crossover games is voiced by Liam O'Brien.
Of course he is.
I think it's one of those deep gravelly dudes. Yeah. And so Garland's always been like just an evil dude to be evil, right? Like that's always been.
Yeah, like he was the caricature, but that was like it was excusable because he was the first.
Yeah, like he was the bad guy, so he was just was good versus evil. That's all the story was.
Right.
Yeah.
Then you go and you give him a last name. Mm-hmm. Or a first name in this case, but I mean, legitimately, you give him a character that, even as a type as it is, the catharsis that he goes through is the fact that he is pissed that he's been used as a pawn, and he's like, "Okay, you sons of bitches, if I can't do it, then I'll make it happen so that you do get your asses handed to you."
Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous. Like I am on the third or fourth mission, I think. The combat is quite cool. Like I said, it's very arcadey Dark Souls, so it speaks to me. But the coolest part is you have the job classes similar to like Final Fantasy 14, or even Final Fantasy 1. You have job classes based on the weapon, and you can equip 2 of them at a time. And you have skill trees that you can build out, and then there's advanced classes you can do. Some of them are mixed, some are not. Like, for example, Lancer, who uses the big dumb halberd, can turn into Dragoon, which is, you know, Dragoon that everyone knows from Final Fantasy, high jumps, all that kind of stuff. Or it can also unlock Monk with the Pugilist. So, as everyone knows, I like to, in a world of big dumb swords and other crazy weapons, I like to show them the hands. Let's do this. So I'm rocking Pugilist right now as my main one. I'm leveling everything up. I'm just trying to experiment a little bit. But there's a Pugilist, becomes a monk, does all kinds of other cool stuff. But yeah, you can give them the fists. You just literally aura. It's kind of fantastic. And one no other way that I'm surprised that I enjoy so much is the mage. Because I expected it to be you stand back, like Final Fantasy 14, you have to sit there, cast, throw the thing out, run to the next spot, cast, and if you want it more powerful, you pretty much have to charge it. In this case, you have a mace and a shield, and you are a battle mage. You are not a mage, you are a battle mage. So
you're a buffer.
Yeah. Okay. So essentially the combos to do different abilities are Musou style. So you do like light, heavy, light, heavy, light, heavy. Okay. And you get different variations of that. With the mage, some of those spells, and you get those elemental effects. This thing's very dusty, sorry. It's bothering me.
C'est la vie.
So some of the ones, for example, I have one called Aftershock. So you do 3 shots with your mace. It's like a jawbone mace that I have right now. It's pretty sick, actually. It's like a jawbone mace. So you're just like, bwah, bwah, bwah. Yeah. And then you do one of these, First blade. And you just bring it back, and then it, wah, bwah, 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 boom, 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 boom.
Nice.
And it's just like earthquake rocks flying out everywhere. It is so cool. And then one of the base ones you also get is like you can set it on 1 or 2, and then you just throw like a tornado. And I was like, this is the mage that I wanted. I don't want to stand there going blast.
I mean,
which you can do. That is an ability. You can sit there, like when you enter a room, you can sit there and charge like a Firaga, like the big fire spell, and send it if you want. But when you can put it into combos, that's the stuff I'm interested in.
Yeah, like, okay, so I'm assuming the trade-off is more power behind that if you just sit there and charge it.
So some enemies, there's not only you're weak to like slash, pierce, blunt, that kind of thing. There's also the elemental weaknesses like any RPG. And the mage specializes in those elemental weaknesses. So that's a shtick.
Naturally, yeah.
And because it's a little squishier, that's why you get the shield. Not every class can equip the shield. It's like an offhand sort of thing. So, yeah. Very cool. It's convinced me I'm going to level up the mage. I think it's actually my second highest one right now next to Pugilist. So, yeah, it's pretty sick. It's really cool. If anyone is looking for just like a dumb distraction and is into the Souls games, if you just want like something to play other than Elden Ring for an hour, I don't know why you would, but in case you do, if you need a break, check it out. Very cool.
Yeah.
And it's
usually when I play Final Fantasies, I end up playing like time mages. Like I go crazy because I'm like, my turn.
There is a white mage class. You can do it, which is interesting to me, which I kind of want to see what a white mage can do, because that's like straight up a paladin at that point. And if you can like triple shot into haste or like triple shot into barriers, like that's kind of cool.
That's what I mean. Shell, protect, and haste. I am fucking all over the place with that stuff. It's like when just throw back real quick to Final Fantasy X. My first playthrough. I remember my very first playthrough, my very first time through. I put everybody through Titus's, whatever, however you want to pronounce it, time wheel, because everybody needed haste. I wanted everybody to have haste. I didn't care about Oblivion. I didn't care about that. I was just like, everybody's going to be fast as shit. And when yours wears off, you're going to bang it so that you can do your limit break while I was just all strategic with speed.
Plus like 2 turns before they get 1. Hell yeah.
Exactly. That was my style. I'm like, look, I'm going to hit you at least 4 times, because I know the one thing about that game was like, as much as I'm a normally defensive player for strategy, speed, when I was able to attack like multiple times with Titus, I'm like, yo, okay, that's what I'm gonna do. Yeah. That's the trick.
Yep.
But anyway, tangents, Toku tangents.
Yeah. Well, honestly, if you needed a shield, you should check out the OO's 10th anniversary movie, which we are talking about today.
You think?
Yeah.
We should.
So there was a lot of support in that one that would, bring people back. There's a lot of team support, honestly, in this movie. So
I was not prepared.
I was not either. And I'm going to preface this episode much harder than I normally do, because this just came out in subs, and the movie itself just came out as well. Huge spoilers, major spoilers, guys. Big dirty spoilers. We're gonna get into it. So yes, if you have not seen it yet and you do not want to know about it, come back after you've watched it.
And buckle up,
because this movie is kind of crazy. Speaking of haste, it's only an hour long as well. So
yeah,
this is another one of the V-cinext, however you want to say it. Let me pull up a little blurb about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is only an hour long, which I was kind of surprised about. And
I think, like I said, they fit a whole lot, and yet they could have done more, but I think they chose not to, because maybe we'll get a director's cut.
I don't know if we will, honestly, but this is very much supposed to be a cherry on the O's story.
And it's a huge cherry.
A huge cherry.
That's a huge cherry, boy.
Yeah. Whoa. And so it was interesting to watch, because that seems to be what they're using these V-cinext things for. Is these, like, we saw the one with Saber. Obviously, 01, they've been doing V-cinemas and hyper battle videos for years at this point. But specifically, the V-cinext films seem to be more of like finishing character arcs, like with the Valkyrie and the what's his face, Vulcan. Like Vulcan died, like that was clearly the end of that story. So Naruto's still doing whatever. Saber, we got, I don't think anyone died in that one, but we definitely got like a cherry on the end of their story. They left it open so they could do more if they wanted to, but that was a nice little send off to the crew, to the team, and this one in this case is also a send off to the crew, I think.
Wait, I need this.
So, to rip the Band-Aid off, Eiji dies at the end of this movie.
Eiji dies, guys.
Eiji dies at the end of this movie. Eiji dies. I was not expecting it at all, honestly.
I thought they were going to pull the shenanigans because I'm like, bro, it's O's.
Yep.
Anything goes.
Yep.
No.
Anything goes. Kamen Rider O's. And in this case, it is the subtitle of this movie is The Core Metal of Resurrection, which is, I mean, I guess it's a decent title, but a lot of things came back, so it makes sense.
Because, all right. So, the movie starts off pretty, like, quickly, actually. We have what looks like Ankh reawakening in, like, the Netherrealm.
It seems to be Ankh, like, coming back to consciousness immediately after the end of the O's series, where Ankh is he dies at the end of the series. Eiji, if you've seen many of the movies, he walks around with a broken coin because that was the last coin that was available for Ankh, the last of the core metals, and Ankh disappears. So and he was looking for a way to bring him back, I'm pretty sure, by the end of the series.
It's the year 2021, so they're fast forwarding to an apocalypse scape. The greed are attacking. You have the forces that you remember from before. This is where all the previous people come back. The greed are back.
Greed.
All the greed.
All of them.
Muza, I can't remember.
Mazel, Uva, something with a G. I forget the. Hang on, I can pull them up.
Kazaki, I think.
Uva, Kazari, Gamel, and Mizul. Those were our four antagonists from the original show, and they were the other greed that were kind of doing their thing. And we also get one more back, which is the ancient O's. And I have talked about the mythologies before and how much I love the mythology of a Kamen Rider, right? Kuga, O's. I always thought this was a cool thing. We always heard about this ancient king.
It inspired you.
It inspired my own Kamen Rider. And we finally get to see him. And I mean, it's a repaint. It's whatever. I expected it to be a repaint. He just kind of puts a cloak on and they paint it.
It couldn't really be anything else, though, really. Like, it couldn't be drastically different. We would be like, then that's not what was in our head. Like, why have that form? But the cracks.
It was sick. They used this kind of muted palette for the helmet. I'm trying to bring it up. Wow, I just brought it up and found this picture. So this is a thing that happened. I
kind of have a distant one, but I have that.
This is apparently the also the picture of, okay, that one will work too. But I found this beautiful image of the king. Yeah,
the king. Yeah, King O's.
King O's is this clown. Is Santa Claus.
So that's what's under the armor.
That's what's under the armor. That is the problem that is in this movie.
He is a major problem.
He is a major problem.
A problem for like a bit.
For a bit. And then, so this is him in his actual rider form. I just found the Santa Claus picture. Very hilarious.
I can't find a closer helmet shot, but the cracks are like focused on like all in the helmet. So it gives it that ancient feel, and he has like this cape on him. So, you know, I'm all about capes, but it's nothing crazy. It's just O's with some cracks and a cape.
And I thought it was a nice little like way to differentiate them without because he's supposed to be O's. The other thing they could do is like super Tatuba him and like reverse the colors, but I feel like that would have been a little much. But I like this kind of, I just like the cracks on the helmet, honestly.
Yeah, like you said, it gives it the muted palette, so it does prove it is a drastic difference when they do show the two together at the same time.
What is up, Mark? Yes, we had a slight schedule change, so we got to make sure we still got an episode.
Sorry, guys. Yeah, my bad.
So here we are. So sit back, relax. We're talking O's.
Talking O's Resurrection.
Yeah. So that is the King Man in his glory. I can't handle this Santa Claus picture.
So he resurrected, and we get into the explanation, and I still kind of need a little bit of clarification because I'm like, what? Anyway, so he comes back and he's leading all of them. Yep. They're beating the hell out of the resistance that consists of Hina, Shingo, and all the other characters from before.
Pretty much everyone but Eiji is coming back and is part of this little army. Hina still has her super strength. She throws a boulder at some point with dynamite on it.
That dynamite is strapped to it.
They straight up like twist tie dynamite to it, and then after she throws it, it was pretty cool. It was pretty sick.
That's when it's when she throws it, it explodes, and that's when King O's makes his first appearance.
Yes.
So she's still got the super strength. So they're just alluding to remind us that she is ridiculously Hina strong.
Did they ever explain it? Ever?
I don't think so.
Think they
but
ever
if they did, I'm probably missing out because I saw O's once like a couple of years ago, but I am due for a rewatch.
Yeah, that was kind of the big energy I had with this, right? Like I was watching it and I was like, I remember all these characters. I don't remember specifics, but I remember all these characters.
Exactly. And I think it did enough.
Yeah, and it made me want to go watch the series again. So that's a good takeaway from it, at least. And yeah, so we get this resistance. King O shows up, just kind of trumps everyone because he's a badass. And, Ankh is... He's fish out of water. Like his hand is coming here. It's 10 years later. He doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah, he hasn't fully manifested. He's still just the handy thingy.
He's still just floating hand. But Shingo, the body he possessed at one point, who he healed because he was a part of it, he repossesses because Shingo's there. I think he actually gets caught up in one of the explosions or something. And he jumps onto Shingo to save him once again and becomes the Ankh that we know with the hair and the
we
suit
know
and everything.
That looks exactly the same.
Dude looks exactly the same. He has not aged one day.
Dude has not aged a day, homie.
Not a day.
AG a little, but even in this movie, AG looks really identical. Everybody has not aged, but Ankh...
AG's got like the stress lines. That's about it.
Yeah, but Ankh went in a cryo chamber, bro. Yeah. Like he just straight up was like,
dude hibernated for the last 10 years, and they went like, hey,
wake me for the sequel.
Come on, we got to do another Ankh.
But
so that's how we get Ankh back, and then soon after this, chaos ensues. Right, like Goto and our boy Akira Date show up.
Yeah,
they show up and kind of. Ankh's actor is immortal, Mark says. They show up, Goto henshins real quick, and then gets his ass beat because it's regular birth. And
I made a note though.
At this point, honestly, even if Goto was like the most badass birth ever, which he's fine, Date's obviously the better one. But even if he was like a big badass super Kamen Rider powers, he's going against 5 other people that took like work to put down. You know what I mean? Like that's the thing.
I mean, it took all of your power and then not even you.
Yeah.
So,
and they didn't even have the king there to deal with. So he's there. He gets his ass beat. He buys some time. Now everyone escapes.
There is a moment that Date is dual wielding the blasters, though, and I'm like, oh, that's so dope.
Goto gives him one so he can henshin, and he's just like blah 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 blah.
He's just letting go. I was like, oh, he's dual wielding. That's amazing. But okay, so in the middle of all this chaos, AG just is there.
Yeah,
he's just like watching. He's not even watching. He's staring into a bar. Because this bar is like strategically blocking his eye line when we.
And I honestly thought it was because it was like Ankh's imagination. That's what they were going for, like that sort of deal. But it's not. It's AG.
It's AG just staring into a random.
And then he just turns around. They have a short conversation, and he says like, "Hey, if you need me, I'll be over here. But you should go ask them what's going on."
The vibe is so weird that something's off like immediately because you're like, they're not like. There's nothing there from AG, and you're like, whoa.
So,
all right.
One thing I noticed that from the subs that I didn't remember is, so Date calls Goto-chan, right? Did you notice that? Yeah, he in the subs, which I don't know if this is an Overtime thing or what, because Overtime's the one who did it. They dub him Broto, and I thought that was the sickest thing ever.
I was like, I think I want to call Broto for like a week.
You can call me Broto from now on. That is cool.
I was like, Broto. That was amazing. I thought it was just mine, but cool. That was what we were watching then.
Perfect, and I was like, oh, that's right. These two are bros. I forgot this. This is great.
Yeah.
Because Goto annoyed me a little bit in the original series. So Ankh goes back. They do the whole explanation of what's happened. The king resurrects. Kind of is what it's shenanigans. He comes back and just starts absorbing core metals and resurrects all the greed and eventually just takes over the world. And at some point they made a comment that there's not many of the humans left. So I think he went on like some solid destruction for a while.
Yeah, I mean, they're implying that he's been at this for a bit, whoops a lot of ass, and then AG comes back finally. Yes. And Ankh comes back. Sorry, Ankh comes to the warehouse where they all retreat to after they manage to escape.
And Hina's just grilling up like 10 tons of fish. It was so weird. Like they come back and she's just grilling like 15 pieces of fish
It's not surprising. No, I mean it's the nostalgia factor really comes into factor with this movie. Like everything about this movie was like, oh, that's so dope how they're doing little bits here and there.
Yeah.
So they dropped it.
Yeah. They explain to Ankh what's going on. You know, he does the and just reacts for a little bit.
Yeah.
And then they tell the story of what happened to Eiji. And
Kogami tells the story. Kogami appears. He happy birthdays.
Right.
He happy birthdays Ankh on his resurrection, and he is every time you see him in this movie, you're getting an expo dump. So he goes into the
door blasting open. Happy birthday!
Happy birthday! Yeah. So I mean, it's classic Kogami, but it always made me smile. Yeah. And by the way, as a personal note, you guys, not a year goes by where we don't send that to each other for our birthdays.
Every year.
Not every year.
Every year. Ever since. So yeah, like they tell the story of Eiji, and it's Eiji being the most Eiji he ever is, right? Like he's fighting the king. He gets his ass kicked. He's on the ground bleeding. Pretty typical main rider thing. And the king notices this child and has my gut reaction and throws some bits at them.
That's just, as soon as I was like, oh, you evil bastard. and I knew it was gonna be bad, but I didn't think Eiji was gonna make it. I didn't think he was gonna make it, and he does. Thank God he makes it.
So he does the rap and then and catches them all in the back. It's wild.
He does, yeah. It's the Ichigo where he caught 6 of those little harpoons from Grimjow. Bang, 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 right in his back, and he's just like, I'm good. That's fine.
We're fine.
All right. Yeah. You're okay, little girl, right? And she's still freaking out, and then he's like, ha, ha, ha.
And then we get I'm so glad we watched Hokkaido last week, because the king pulls a very similar disrespectful thing where he just turns and waves his hand. Just I'm done with you.
Yep.
Move along. And Eiji explodes.
Explode. And that's all you see. And you were like, what? There's no way. Because there's no shenanigans about it. He straight up gets blowed up after getting impaled in the back. So even if he's not dead from the explosion, he's impaled.
Yeah, and I was straight up, I was like, let's see what bullshit they use to explain themselves out of this.
I'm like, that's inevitable. They're going to be the power of friendship. Anyway, we'll get
my gut reaction to that scene wasn't even oh god, Eiji's dead. My gut reaction is anger, where I'm like, how are you going to explain your asses out of this one? Come on, now.
That's what you do later. It's so soon for him to take that injury. The first act. Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
So anyway, cool. It's implied that Eiji took that major L and disappeared from sight for a while. I don't really know the time frame here. I mean, I guess since it's 2021, it's been years, but I don't know how long they've been looking for him, or if this is just because Ankh resurged, whatever. Anyway, so he's like, all right, I'm going to go, because he told me where to find him. He didn't tell you guys, since you haven't seen him ever. But I need to go, but give me the core medals, and I'm going to go figure this shit out.
Yeah, the Kogami gives him the book of core medals. It has, I think, Latorata, Gakiriba, and I'm sorry, Gakiriba's not in there. Yeah, it's a handful, and then it has Ankh's other medals in there. It's only 2 or 3 forms, but can I just say, with this movie, we do not see the blue form, the Mizul form, the water combo.
Is that your favorite one?
It's one of my favorite ones because he has that sick drill kick with the 8 octopus legs. I always thought that was cool.
You get
you get it later, but I know we'll get there. But it just bugs me because that's always the one I felt he's got these cool electric whips. He does the drill kick. It was always a really cool form. And then we always default to the 3, right? We get the Gatakiri Ba, La Torata, and Tajadol, or the big 3. We didn't even get Sugozo in this one, surprisingly.
You're right. Yeah, we don't need anything other than Tajadol. You are correct.
Well, we need Sugozo because I don't know if you saw the tournament we were in, but Sugozo was the thing that carried O's in the tournament we did with Hawk.
Was it?
Yes.
But I do know that Agito did pull out the dub.
Agito won the entire goddamn thing. Yeah. And it was beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, I believe it. It's believable in some levels, but okay.
Burning turned into an actual infinite armor football player. It was ridiculous. Absurd.
That's great. That's great.
So Gozo was the one that carried him. I was a little upset we didn't see it in this one. Same with the I don't even remember what the blue one's called. But they're cool forms that I feel just don't get a lot of screen time. especially with
neither did the greed, so to speak.
I mean, the greed really didn't either. We get Uva, and he comes in for a fight, but he was like a plot device essentially. Yeah. So Uva is like, you know, they're back at their lair with the king, and Uva's like, I'll take care of Ankh. I'll get him. A typical Uvo thing where he's like,
Uva's like, I got this. Yeah. And then he goes,
and you're like, you're gonna be the first one to die, just like last time. So
yeah,
good talk. So
we get this ominous foreboding thing that Ankh has been revived and his core medals will be his. Go get them for me. The typical bad guy thing, and he takes a back seat for some reason.
Yeah, because why not?
Yeah, so we have.
You can end them at any time. Might as well just relax.
Yeah. So anyway, Uva, like you said, takes his shot. We get the Katakiri henshin. It's, I mean, again, there's nothing wrong with the fighting sequences in here. They're dope. They're very.
I liked them a lot, actually.
They're homages to the forms. I like that Uva in the middle of the fight, like, you cheater, when he splits into like the Kagebushin, like he splits into numerous forms, you cheater, and then dies.
My favorite was like I've always talked about, ever since we started this podcast, I've talked about the choreography in O's, right? Like the pieces to it, every piece has its own thing. In this, so right before this, they really double down on there's something up with Eiji. He makes a comment where he tries to give Ankh a popsicle, and some other stuff happens, but Ankh sees core metals inside of him, kind of like how he would absorb the Putotira metals. Yeah, he sees core metals inside of him.
Yeah, and I'm sure, like, I don't know why he didn't see it when he first met him then, but whatever. Yeah. So either like his will broke or his charade gave a little bit, but
I assumed it was similar to Putotira, like they put him inside of him for whatever shenanigans. Like I assumed the king was doing something. That was kind of my take on it. But
that's at first, I was like, okay, so I'm sure that grievous wound killed something.
Yeah,
so
did something. They put it in there to heal him, whatever the case may be.
By like sticks and bubble gum. Yeah,
and come to find out, that is a lot more true than we thought.
Way more true.
Avenge Ankh, feeling something's off, is hesitant, but he does give him the medals when Uvo attacks, and Uvo is a Hunter x Hunter character. Uvo is the big angry Hunter x Hunter. I don't know. It's a whole thing. I can go. It's a whole other rant. Anyway, Uva attacks and he henshins, and immediately he does like 10 charged R1 punches in a row. Like Eiji just like he's got the he's loosening up, and he just runs and whop.
If anybody knows O's, they know that that's not Eiji's fighting style. That's not.
Which, like,
I mean, I think it was a joke that we made back then. Like Eiji did the same combo. Was it this? Oh no, it was Kiva. Kiva did the same punch arm drag. But anyway,
like that speaks to the choreography, right? Like we haven't watched that show in like 7-8 years at least, and I could immediately tell. I was like, that ain't right.
No,
that ain't nothing. Like, that's not my Eiji.
That ain't O's.
It's not even my Eiji. That's not Eiji. Like, damn, I thought that was so cool, and just. Again, it speaks to how well, I don't know if it's the same suit actor or not. I don't think so, because I think he retired at this point. But like whoever the choreographer is, like, beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
The subtlety in that was just, for us, was like, wow, nice. Yeah. Okay, do that. Do more shit like that.
And he just kept doing the same thing. He just kept punching the shit out of him.
Even Uva was like, did you get stronger? And he's like, yeah,
sure, why not?
Yeah.
But yeah, he just does this cocky, like, let's go. Wham. All right, let's do another one. Wham!
7 of them in a row, back to back.
Ridiculous. And so he punches the other medals out of Uva.
Completely.
And then he takes him, and that's how he gets Katakiriba.
Yeah. Uva is forced to run away on a single core medal and fucking disappears.
Yep.
Just as everybody shows up, actually, another thing is, like, just as he beats Uva, he's about to break the medal. He's about to kill Uva.
Yeah.
And even Ankh stops him. Yeah. Ankh is like,
don't do that. What are you doing?
What are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So that alone, and then they're like, even what I like the most is that even Date and Goto were like, yeah, that's not our guy. Like, something's up with him.
Yeah, they were just chilling, like trying to see what was up. Like they didn't want to, because Hina and Ankh wanted to go by themselves, but they kind of followed him, sort of thing.
Yeah.
But like they're listening to this conversation, they're like, I know, something don't smell right.
Yeah. They're like,
got a little stink on you. What's going on over here?
Fish, something right here. So they're spot on. So he gives up the ghost, and it's come to reveal that indeed Eiji is not right.
Nope.
Those core metals belong to an entity called Goda.
Goda. It is another greed.
Yes.
Yeah, not Gouda. Goda.
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 Yeah, I thought it was Gouda.
And
but
almost immediately, our boy Kagami pops back in on a convenient projector.
Expo dump.
Yep.
Expo dump. So it turns out Kogami's responsible for it.
Yep.
Kogami did it.
The corporation created their own man-made core metals after the events of O's, and they figured out that the only way to create a new greed was to use desire. And Eiji's whole archetype and everything was essentially to have like a dream, a desire, figure out what he wanted to do with his life. And that was his whole shtick. That's what got him so much power, all that kind of stuff.
Power of hope.
The power of hope. And they utilized that to create this new set of metals. The Goda metals, and it's Scorpion, Centipede, something else.
Yeah, Scorpion, Hornet. No, not Scorpion. Excuse me.
Scorpion was birth. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it is Centipede, Hornet, and Ant.
Sick. Those are terrifying metals.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good. He's squiggly and wobbly. No, I'm good.
And
I'm good.
I just was imagining like the face thing from Avatar the entire time, like writhing around inside of Eiji. Like that and it was like yes.
All right, so let's give the actor a little bit of credit here, because the problem with this movie that I had first is that I didn't think we got enough Eiji. We got Goda in terms of portraying Eiji.
We got Goda being Eiji, or pretending to be Eiji,
right? So it's the one negative that I have with the movie, but anyway. That being the case, even the character of Goda wasn't bad. The character of Goda, you could tell, has the little bit of time we have with him was enough to explain how, one, we get his genesis. Even it was expo dumped onto us. His character isn't just his genesis. It's not just, I want to fulfill Eiji's desire, and it isn't truly that he's a bad guy yet.
He's hyper focused. It's kind of like a super dumbed down version of Baron, where it's this is what I believe to be a means to an end, and it's probably evil. I may understand it's evil, I may not, I don't know, but it's a means to an end, and his goal is to give Eiji his desire. So even though he's inhabiting his body and taking over his life, he thinks he's doing everything for Eiji, which I thought was a really interesting kind of dynamic to it, because he's evil. I'm not going to say he's not evil.
It turns into a cartoon thing at the end, but
like he's there's a sinister nature to everything he does. Just because he kind of has that like thing going on.
It's that creepy flowiness.
It's that centipede shit. It's that centipede goddamn
That's what
energy.
it is. It's
the centipede energy. If you got more than like 2 legs, or 4, I don't know. If you got more than 8 limbs, maybe that's pushing it. But
the only differentiation between he and Eiji is the purple hair and the contacts.
So he does like it was almost like a Deno effect. Like he took over.
There he was.
He got purple hair and then he got new eyes. And I was a little confused. Yeah, like Ankh obviously does it too. But I was just a little confused because I feel like that didn't really happen with the Putotira medals. He just kind of got the eyes with Putotira. I mean, I guess that's also because it wasn't like a greed that was created. It was just the medals.
That's true. But
so it was strange.
But so they come to terms with it, and they pretty much agreed they have to work with him, because if he is ejected in any sense from Eiji at this point, Eiji's donezo. He's basically
straight up said no, Eiji died. Oh yeah. Also, the first time, speaking of which, the first time we get a hard like, okay, that's not Eiji, is when they're asking about the little girl that Eiji saved.
Yeah.
So Ankh and Hina are like, what about the little girl you saved? And he kind of just shrugs and goes, she died. Shrugs. Yes. She died.
It was inevitable. Her fate.
Yeah. So if you're familiar with Eiji at all, you hear that and you're like, wait a minute.
He would have been.
Yeah, like I would have expected him to be in isolation because of that kind of thing.
Right.
That's the type of character Eiji would be.
Which is what I hoped at first. I'm like, damn, he didn't save her. She's like gone, and he's gonna be like a hermit. And I understand.
Like I failed. I gotta pick up, that kind of story, which would have been a little tropey, but I would have been for it. It's interesting. I like the Fall from Grace storylines. I think they're interesting, especially when you have like hyper positive characters like Eiji. But no, that's not the case at all. Like they both died when the explosion, the disrespectful like hand flip explosion. They both died.
He died.
I thought they both died. Oh, is that why she was at the end?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought she was like a weird spirit thing. I looked down for a second, I think.
Maybe
I thought it was like.
Anyway,
we'll get to that in a second.
No, she couldn't have survived. Anyway,
I don't think she survived, but anyway,
she's dead. She had to have died. I misinterpreted that completely. Anyway, we'll get there.
Whatever. Anyway, so he's like, AG's dead, man. Like if I can leave if you want, but he's gonna die. So
he's gonna die.
It kind of turns into this whole thing of similar to Ankh and Shingo's situation, Hina's brother, that Ankh's the body he's possessing. When Ankh took it over, he was dying. And he kind of did I'll take over the body while you heal sort of thing. So they're
like a Gadriel type of thing where he was healing him while he was possessing him and using him for the whole time.
Yeah, so they're hoping Goda kind of does that sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly. So they agree. It's a long scene, but it's basically just the idea that that's what they're gonna do. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So you get back to the king, and
Uva literally falling onto the ground in front of him.
Yeah. Uva's literally like, I'm dying. I'm sorry. I failed. Give me a chance. And the king's like, nah. And he just, what was that guy's name? Naraku?
Moroku, yeah. With the thing, the wind tunnel.
Yeah, wind tunnel. He wind tunnels all of them. Mm-hmm. He basically gets his power up so that he can go and take on O's on his own because he's like, you guys are fucking useless. So,
which he gets a really cool, I don't know if you ever saw the SIC like 6 metal belt. Did you ever see that? Did I ever show you that? It's the SIC Shocker O's. That was what it was. Yeah. It is very cool. I'll try and pull up a picture while we're talking.
Yeah, I was about to say. So he goes and he gets his power up and he absorbs them all. I didn't notice the belt, but so now it's basically as they're talking, Hina and Ankh about working along with Ankh or Goda in order to just use him. Ankh is overhearing the whole thing and he's like gonna be a step ahead of him, so he's already like, yep, you know what I'm gonna do. So Date and Goto kind of hit him off as well, and they also kind of let him know, step out of line, you're donezo.
Yep.
So it's basically tense all over the place, and going into this, like, something's gonna go down and nothing's gonna be. This is like it gave us the vibe that this is the final battle coming up.
Yeah.
Like
so after he absorbs all of them, he gets this kind of combined form, and I thought they were going to go with this form, which is a Shocker SIC story. It's a Shocker 6 metal belt. And it has these big, for our audio listeners at home, it has these big like bone spines coming out of it, and it looks really cool.
Amazing. It's amazing.
Angry looking.
I like it.
I thought he was going to get something like that, but what he got was actually kind of cool. I dug it, honestly. I mean, it's very basic. It is very much like we're going to reuse some pieces to make a big air quotes new
isn't
suit.
That the Tamashi form, pauldrons, shoulder guards?
That was one of either the Tamashi or the movie form, one of those two. But essentially, it's a combination of all of them. And if you're watching the video, it's on the screen right now. You see it has the Gatakiriba on one arm, it has La Torata on the other, and then it has Sagozo and Mezzles. I always forget the Mezzle thing. But it has, the 5 pieces, and then it still has the Tajadol head. But then it's got the big pauldrons. Very cool. Very, very cool.
It's effective for implying that it's all of them.
Yeah.
Sure. But okay.
I liked it. It was simple. Like, if you're going to do a suit reuse kind of thing, like obviously it's the same powers and everything. I thought it was a cool little, we'll just put it all together.
Especially considering that, so they have their fight. He gets this sword, and I was trying to get a still of it. It's different. I don't recognize it from anything, but it's basically just a cross skull sword.
Yeah, it actually really reminded me. A lot of this stuff kind of reminded me of Hokkaider, because it reminded me of the sword he got in the Dream of Hokkaider.
I was trying to place it. I'm like, I think that might be from somewhere. I'm just failing to piece it.
To me, it was the same kind of like one-piece hilt thing going on. Like, it looked like the Hokkaider sword, and I was like, did they really just dig this out of the stupid closet? I mean, I'm sure it's in something else, but
yeah, I couldn't get a good still of it. But anyway, so that's the sword, and after the power up, he goes against Date and Goto first.
Yeah.
So they get jobbed out, and then Date's like, look, I'll cover you while you go get the thing.
Yeah.
Go get the thing.
Go get the business. Go get the
And of
democracy.
course, but the thing isn't ready yet. But go do the thing. Trust me. And that's kind of like one of my favorite things about Date is like he's always still the just do it. It's got to get done. Just do it.
Let me tell you. So specifically with Date. So if anyone does not know, Date is also the voice of Guts from Berserk, who is one of my favorite characters. I have the goddamn thing tattooed on my arm. It is one of my favorite series ever. And hearing this man do like the enunciations and the little like voice quips from like that get into like the Guts, because like his voice is a lot deeper when he does Guts, but you can still hear those like inflections and things like that. Especially when he was like, you know, that's not my AG kind of thing. I heard that a little bit and I was like, oh.
Hey Guts.
I got a little like a little.
How you doing, buddy?
Hey,
I need to go watch. Give me like 20 minutes. I'll be right back. Like anytime I hear Eisen, anytime I hear him in anything, I'm like, ooh,
just a little quiver. Just a little quiver.
There's my guy.
Okay.
So he basically, I like how, and the thing is like I like how he's like, I'll buy you time, and he literally does nothing, but he's just like hiding behind this.
He gets the other cell gun and is like, well, I'll try.
I guess I'll just wait here. So anyway, AG and Ankh show up, and they finally, or Goda show up. They're finally ready to fight. And you get this drawn out fight, and not bad.
It wasn't bad.
King kicks the dog shit out of Oz for like the first 3 minutes of this fight.
As he should, because he has now 5 different core metal groups inside of him.
Yeah, like the power scale is legit. So the only thing that Goda tries is the Ratora form, because Ankh is still like, I don't know.
He didn't want to give him the Tajado form. So that's why he gave him the Latorata. Yeah, because he was like, I want to give him my medals. Like,
I wouldn't either. Hell no.
Yeah,
you're crazy.
Like that's
make
like,
it work.
Let me throw my arm and leg at you, or throw this dude's arm and leg at you. Like, I need my arm and leg.
Make it work.
So
make it work.
Oh,
and then he doesn't.
They did also mention earlier in the movie that the king even had some of Dr. Maki's versions of the Putotira medals. He did have a few of the purple ones. So at some point, Latorata, Ankh gets absorbed. That's what happened.
Yes. Well, yeah, that was next. So after Rato gets basically mooted, he's about to absorb all of Goda's core medals.
He literally catches the super move with one hand.
Yeah. By the way.
So like, you know, Latorata is a cheetah. It's got claws on the arm. He does this big like X-claw dive thing.
Yeah, the finisher. He does the finisher.
Literally the finishing move that wrecked everyone throughout the series. He grabs it with one hand and throws him aside.
He's like, cute.
Yeah.
Goodbye. And after that, it's basically done. So he starts to absorb him. Ankh jumps in, gets absorbed.
Yes.
And then it's like shish kebab, you know, but you know, of course, something else happens where he's about to walk towards him and it stops.
Yep.
And then Ankh is like, hey, fucko, like, guess what, buddy?
And he's basically doing like the hand puppet thing, because he's just a hand again, and he's like, I did this on purpose. And he snatches out Putotira combo, bro. Yeah, and throws it to him, so we get the Putotira. Which I gotta say, I forgot how much I kind of like how that suit is in motion.
It was used perfectly for this, because it wasn't like he's raged out. It was like, fuck, here, like, you know, like this.
And it was cool because Goda even like played into it a little bit. Like his voice got deeper, and he was like, "Thanks, here we go."
I don't think you can fight it when you're in that suit, bro. You can't fight that.
That's the entire point of that thing. Like, it takes over. It's your Berserk form. That was like one of the first Berserk forms I can remember, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah. He got the deep voice. He got the Batman.
I love it though.
Justice.
So you get the Puto. It actually. It strikes me crazy, because I know it's attributed to Ankh having sabotaged him and taken the Putotira power, but this really power scales a lot, because in this fight you're saying that all the core metals still, even with just subtracting the Putotira combo, can't comp.
Yeah, they can't, because that was the whole thing in the original series too. I remembered, because like those were like, I don't know if they were the original core metals, but those were like the core metals to get, and that's why it turned into you know, Dr. Maki using them versus AG using them kind of thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, like at one point he hits him with the axe and does this really cool like spin move thing and tries to freeze him. And then he just like scoops out like hundreds of cell metals and then spins and just cannons the hell out of him and blows him into a warehouse. It was sick.
Amazing.
It was like fight. One fluid motion too. It was cool.
Everything about the choreography in this is dope. They have not been lacking in any of the choreography in these V-cinext movies. It is like a whole. They go the extra mile to make whatever lack of story up in the choreography.
Yeah, honestly, like most of the time, it's very simple, like character changes and characters reacting to a very basic plot, but like it worked for the purposes. Like it's an hour-long movie. I didn't expect them to get like super deep and super into this, and a lot of it is kind of.
I mean, it's surface level, but they did.
Yeah, and like, but that's more of bonds with characters, right? Like they were talking about, you know, you were talking about the nostalgia stuff earlier, and that's kind of what it plays on.
And the nostalgia is a heavy factor in this movie, but it worked.
Yes,
it worked.
If you have that nostalgia, if you are familiar with these characters, the movie will work a lot better than if you are going in just to this movie, which you really shouldn't. Like of the V-cinext, like I think you could probably get into like the 0-1 ones and still enjoy them for what they were without being super familiar with the series.
More recent, they're not as heavy as
or like Saber, same thing. Like you may be like, oh, who are these other people? It doesn't matter, whatever. But like you can kind of get it. You know what I mean? This one though, it will make or break the movie. I think whether you enjoy it or not, if you've seen O's or even enjoyed O's.
And vice versa. I think this movie will make rewatching the show better too.
Yes, I think so too. I totally agree, 100%. So, you know, we get the Putotira combo. He gets knocked into the warehouse and
takes out King.
Takes him out. Takes out. That's it.
Bro, Dunzo. And you're like, no fanfare, no experience, no level up, nothing. Just done.
Yep, canon. That's the answer.
So you get the moment where the king explodes into the loot, and it's just the soaring core metals, and they're just basically swirling. And Goda, obviously, this is where the heel turn of Goda comes into play, where he's like, "What would happen? You know, I want power. What would happen?
This could be the power I use to fulfill AG's desire."
Right, and that's where I was like, "Oh, that's good," because it's not like he's just like, you know, fuck the world, I want to burn. No, it's just like, you know, what could happen? I could actually do this.
Yeah, like, what if this actually does work out and everyone's for the better? Like, AG could win. AG wins. That's why I'm doing this. And then his turn.
So he absorbs it. Ankh goes into his primal form or base form and does what he can. He lasts like a couple slashes.
He goes back to his full greed form. He's got like the full getup because he gets all his core metals back.
So after the absorption, you get the Kamen Rider Goda, which is this guy right here. I'll put it in the Discord.
Very cool design. It's essentially the body of the one we were just looking at, except now you get this really sick helmet and these boots. These boots are pretty dope too.
It's the boots and the helmet that are like. I'm just like,
the pincers, the straight up centipede pincers are what I'm like, I like it.
So, but again, it just uses the Tamashi thing. It uses the Ratora flays. It's dope. It's not a bad palette combo, but it implies that this is a whole different set than what you would expect. Yeah. And immediately after he basically sidelines Ankh, Date shows up to try to do something.
Yep.
That doesn't go very well, so he gets bitched at first too, and then he purges AG.
Yeah.
So
purges him straight up. He just says, "Okay, I'm done with you."
and it's like, okay, so that's it.
Yep.
There goes AG.
Yep.
You already know he's on a timer.
Yeah.
Like immediately, you're like, shit.
Yeah. So Ankh goes to get him, and in the meantime, Goto comes back in. He is carrying not only the birth belt, but a new birth belt that has essentially the O's driver slapped onto the side of it, which for, again, movie things, it was fine. Whatever. But essentially it has the slider from the O's belt, 4 coins on the side of this proto drive belt. And Date becomes becomes
proto.
Birth. Was it proto or was it just regular birth?
He wishes it would be birth. It would be drive.
Yeah.
But
yeah, Date becomes Birth, and then we get Birth X from
Birth
Goto.
X.
which I thought was a really sick form. So that's the one where he uses Scorpion. He uses Scorpion. Do you have the medals?
Yeah, I'm bringing up an image of it right here. So the core medals he uses for Birth X are... Oh, yeah, these were weird because it's lobster, crab, and scorpion.
That's what it was. Yes.
Lobster, crab, and scorpion. I was like, that's such a bananas combo. Yeah. Like, I get it's all crustaceans, maybe.
Yep.
But I thought a scorpion was an arachnid. But, all right, so I'm putting up an image of Birth X on the Discord. So that's
Which I'm curious with this whole thing is, where did these medals come from?
I'm assuming since they were able to make Goda, they made these too.
Okay.
Since Birth is completely manufactured. That's the whole thing. That's why Birth has always had like that. Because the whole thing with O's is the mysticism behind the core medals. Because I forget if we mentioned it or not, but it goes to explain that the core medals were made from alchemy.
Yes, straight up alchemy. We see the alchemists and everything. Which I don't know if we saw that in the original show, but it was cool.
Maybe that's why I wasn't sure. I'm like, I don't remember that, but okay. So yeah, the king had his alchemist make the core medals, and that's where you got those from. So the whole thing about Birth is like it's so scientific, which is like the contrast between Anzen and Iska. Yeah. You know, the mysticism of your rider versus the technical base of mine is like
it's classic, you know, motifing. Like that's all it is. Like tech versus magic versus whatever, like nature versus tech, that sort of thing.
Yeah. Exactly. Like one only gets so far without the other. So anyway, so boom. Birth X takes his shot literally. He fires this dope little cannon thing at him. It's only so.
What do you think about this form?
It's better than Birth Proto. It's better than Birth Regular. I think it has the same appeal to me as Meteor does. It's just like it's prettier, but it's not phenomenally better. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't say like I prefer either form if I had a choice.
I prefer this one 100%, honestly.
Yeah, it's better, but
I love the coloring on this form. I love the metallic paint to it. That's really what it is.
It looks like an oil slick. That's what I mean.
Yeah, and that's why I think I like it so much. It is also kind of like when the like upgrade for Birth became them just kind of equipping all of the pieces to the animal thing that they had, the scorpion.
Yeah.
I thought this is more of what we were going to get, right? I thought this was going to be a Birth upgrade. So now that we finally got it, I am 10,000% here for it. And I hope this is what they use going forward, because Proto Birth and the like full armament Birth, whatever you want to call it, I thought they were kind of like wet farts compared to what they could have gotten, which is clearly this.
So, I mean, they do their best. They give it a shot.
Yeah. And he also summons a big claw, like a big heat claw kind of
lobster
thing.
Claw.
Dope.
Yeah. Crab claw, lobster claw, whatever it was.
Yeah.
But it's definitely a big fucking pincher. And he gets the clamps.
They
get the clamps out, and they buy a little bit of time. So one thing I will say, one of my favorite aspects of Birth that I remembered I liked, I have always been a fan of the HUD inside the helmet.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that whole thing where they get the face piece that holds them in there, and then they get the Tony Stark UI.
Yeah, because that's always what I picture inside Anza. Like I want that. That's gotta be. I mean, I know practically it's not that at all, but I mean, let me have my dream. So
Josh thinks Birth looks like a rider assembled from other riders, and it most likely is, because this is a V-cinext movie. So
I mean, that's what Goda is a rider of other O's, right?
So
but yeah, so you get their fight scene. They do their best in the middle of their fight scene, though, because let's not detract from them feels.
Yeah.
So you get the moment where Goto and Date are holding off Goda, while Ankh has now possessed Eiji to protect him, is now having a 1-to-1 with Eiji on the inside.
In the Shadow Realm, literally.
Yes, in the Shadow Realm. And I was not prepared for these feels. I was not.
It had big Shotaro and Philip energy.
I thought this is where they were going to turn the movie around, where they were going to heal Eiji, where they were gonna make him
with like the power of friendship or some bullshit.
Yes, and I'm like,
honestly, I thought they were gonna play off, because Ankh kind of always had this like Phoenix thing to him. I thought it was going to be that, like he was going to resurrect like a phoenix almost. And no, they did not activate a trap card. The trap card was activated earlier when Goda did his thing. So it's one of those things where like
the trap card was AG getting the Swords of Revealing Light in his back.
Yeah, that was the trap card. Oh my goodness. So yeah, they had this heart-to-heart moment that it was honestly kind of gut-wrenching, and like I said, it's just big Shotaro and Philip energy. Like these are the bros, right? Quite literally the bros. And you know, Ankh is realizing that AG is dying. Like it's hitting him while they're having this conversation.
This plan isn't going to work.
Yeah.
It's not. There's not enough time. There's not enough left of AG to restore him.
Yeah. And
so
that's what AG says. He's like, hey, I really just wanted you back. That was my biggest desire. You're the reason I came back. And as AG is dying, he resurrects Ankh because that is his greatest desire.
So
shit.
Fuck. And I couldn't stop. I couldn't see anymore because it was raining in my house and I just couldn't see the power button. So I had to rewind it a couple of times to rewatch it. But that moment where AG's like, so this is my final battle.
Yeah. Will
you join me? I was like, I can't. That's not fair. God damn it. I bawled. And Ankh is like bawling, and
so like real actor tears. Like
this is the moment between the two where you could tell this is like they're really in it, bro. This is them saying goodbye to the role. This is them saying goodbye to each other.
Right. This is two actors that I don't know if they're actually friends, but they do a damn good job of being friends on set, at least.
Yeah.
Being like, hey, we had a good run.
Yeah.
We did great. We did good, champ. Time to relax.
This was it. And then
man, it was so good. It was such a good moment.
They agree to fight, and that's it. So they go and they confront Goda. Goda knocks down Birth and Birth X, AG, and this is another moment where I started to choke up because they do the henshin.
One is actually dying, Josh. The main O's himself is actually dying.
Yeah, AG is dying. Yeah, AG the rider is dying. So Ankh recreates the moment in the last episode that AG did when he says, let's do this. It's just recreated beat for beat, bro. Like, I don't know how you made it through the ending of this movie without rewinding it like 45 times. I had to. I was like, I can't. It's raining in my house. I can't.
It was fantastic. So the medals, they take out the Tajado medals, all of Ankh's medals, and they shift into eternity. They get this kind of rainbow effect.
Eternity.
Yeah. Oh, God. And he henshins, and it's Tajado Eternity. And I know Tajado has always hit a special spot in your heart.
Always has. And this took it, and Gordon Ramsay elevated it, bro. Yes. Like, this took it to a whole new tier. I'm like, oh my God, look at you. It has like beautiful. The helmet. It's very much Tajador with more of a color palette to it. It has more rainbow effect on the helmet. It has I think it has a different crest on the shoulder too, but everything is just
it has Ankh's like bird head on it instead of the actual Tajador head, which is pretty sick.
Yeah. So, and then he has the Kujaku tail feather. So it's like it's Lu Bu hanging off his back. So oh my God, everything about this was amazing to me. So he goes and he whoops Goda's ass.
Yeah.
And then he even summons AG in the middle of the fight. So they have their souls fight.
Yes. So he straight up summons an AG stand. And it just starts whooping ass with him. And you know what? As he was doing it, I'm putting a picture in the Discord right now to pull up for you guys if you want to check it out.
Yes, Tajador.
Tajador Eternity. As they're fighting, I was like, are we gonna get the naked rider kick?
Oh,
I was like, I was so excited to see AG give him a naked rider kick where he was just out of his suit doing his thing, and it looks beautiful. This form is so gorgeous, and if you're gonna do a repaint, this is a master class in how to do it.
I mean, everything about that sequence was perfect. If you were gonna give a goodbye, they gave it the way that it needed to be. and then you have the rider kick, bro. You get the talon flames of the Tajidor, and then the Kujaku feathers come and form extra pincers on the sides. It's so dope, so dope,
so sick. It was so cool.
So they kick him. Goda's destroyed. That's the end.
That's it. That's it.
And that's it. And everybody walks away and lives happily ever after. And nothing happens after this, right, Carl?
Yep. It's totally not AG laying on the ground. Definitely not.
Oh no. We have to, don't we? We have to, don't we?
Yep. So
okay.
AG is on the ground. And Hina has come over. Everyone is around him. And Ankh is holding him, and they say their goodbyes, and AG dies.
It's the goodbye that couldn't go any other way. It's the goodbye that we needed to really hammer home that this is it.
Yeah. It was great. And this is the part where the little girl showed up, and I was very confused, and I thought it was like
I was too, but
I thought it was like oh yeah, no, we're just imagining all of our friends being together. Remember this girl you saved? You risked your life for her. Good job. That's what I took it.
I just don't understand.
So Ankh and Hina do their like wailing thing, and it's really not it's not melodramatic at all. I'm making it sound melodramatic. It is very well done.
No.
It is well acted. Look, it is very well done.
They're bringing out the A game for this. This is A game chops.
And they start to roll through clips from O's of the three of them and just kind of doing their whole thing. And I was like, oh no. No.
Well, as he dies, he goes and he dies in Ankh's arms as he was supposed to. Yeah. They start to play the Anything Goes slow piano version.
So and I was gonna say, like, that's how the credits roll. Like Ankh and Hina, they have their thing, and Ankh's kind of just accepting what's happening at this point. And it's almost like a passing of the torch moment where Ankh is like, I mean, he doesn't say like I'm O's now or anything like that, but it's almost like he's the main character now, I guess.
Like they're implying that this is it. This is Ankh is now back. This is AG's wish. AG's wish has been fulfilled. Ankh is back.
And then on top of that, like you said, as soon as the credits start to roll, they play a slow version of the opening theme song. And when they do remixes like that of theme songs, and I'm not talking like, when they do like slow versions of theme songs, that's the shit I'm here for.
Yeah. I mean, I wrote slow version of opening theme, and it's actually everything I needed right now.
Yeah.
And it played into the moment following, you get everything out of your system because those feels are so heavy, guys. Like, we literally just said goodbye to AG Hino. I mean, I don't know if Decade's death is official. Please clarify, because it didn't feel it. I had an image of his death, how I would do it, but
Decade?
Yeah. I think he died in the one movie.
Yeah, the 21 complete movie, I think.
Yeah, it didn't work. It didn't work. That's not his death. I'm gonna go with he's gonna be back. But anyway.
They'll find an excuse to bring him back.
Yeah, to my knowledge, this is a main rider's death.
Mm-hmm.
And
straight up, like, there's no like, haha, I'm back now. Like Philip. No. Like, no, he's gone. Gone.
And it hurts, and it felt good to say goodbye this way.
Yeah.
So as that plays out, like you were saying earlier, they start to play clips, and then the OG theme song plays, and I didn't know how bad I needed that even more. Yeah.
And I couldn't tell if they reshot the whole thing or not. I was trying to tell if they were a little older.
Clean.
It was very super clean. I don't think they did. That seems like a lot of work to do that, but they did cut in clips from the movie, which was kind of cool. So that's your 10th anniversary. Give me your thoughts on it. Give me how do you feel about it?
Listen, there was everything I needed about this is everything done right about saying goodbye to a writer. Not to say every movie has to be this sort of goodbye, but I appreciate the effort it took to get this movie done, because they managed to get everybody. They managed to tell us a story quickly about finality, and it felt so good, bro. Everything felt so good about this movie, and I owe this movie for the rewatch that I'm gonna do for the show.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think this is a fantastic movie. The entire V-cinext series has been quite fantastic, comparatively to like Tyson's and stuff like that. I think it's been quite good. They've been tight, enjoyable, fun movies. This is the first one where I'm like, okay, I could see them doing this sort of thing for all the old seasons. Every anniversary, I could see them doing a movie like this. Doesn't have to be anything crazy. Like I said, this movie's only an hour long. It just little bow on the end of any story. And hopefully when Blade's Resurrection comes out in 2 years, we get something better than the Zeo ending. That would be fantastic. Thanks.
I would hope that they give it a shot to at least retell the stories.
But like, especially also, this is, to that point, this could be how they fix things like that, right? Like, like you could have a season that is universally not liked, like Hibiki or Agito, and if you give them a solid movie like this, it could change people's perspective, and they go, "Oh, I'm gonna go back," and they look at it with a new light.
Kuga,
yeah,
bro. I mean, honestly, dude, like, I get he has his gripes, I get he's got his storied history, but think about this, bro.
Yeah,
think about the pocket that you could bank on just us, bro, just the fans. It's not about your ego. It's not about the experience you had. Do it for us, man. Yeah. Like, we'll see, because this kind of movie. 5 more of these, please. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I am down for, even if they're not, short, if you want to call it short. I mean, it's still an hour, but I'm down for little stories like this to just kind of like, hey, the characters you love are back doing their thing, and like throw them into situations that are pretty difficult. So,
who would you do next?
Well, the next anniversary would be, who's after O's? Forza? Was Forza after O's? Yeah, it was Forza.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'd be interested to see. I wouldn't hate a movie that changed my mind about Forza. Give me a movie that changes my mind about it. I'll go back and watch it.
So he would be a teacher by now.
Yeah, which they already did in that one movie. One of the Tysons. He was a teacher. The one with it is Inazuna Man. It was in. He was a teacher in that one. So, yeah, it could be. We could see the next gen. Give me next gen Forza.
I got it. I got the story for you. Ready?
Okay. How many hugs are in there? How many fist bumps? How many handshakes?
All of them.
Okay.
Because it's Gentaro.
Perfect.
So that's what it is. He substitutes. It starts off as like the premise for the substitute, where there's like these kaiju students, or he's like subterfuging, and he gets in there and he starts fist bumping everybody, and then that's when he meets up with the main bad guy, who's like another teacher, who's like the big kaiju. So they're having like this big discussion about who's the bigger bro, right? And then it goes down like Bully. Remember Bully?
Yeah.
Dude, it ends like Bully, but at the end of it, they just Gentaro fist bump rather than the rider kick.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Okay.
I just saved your V-cinema.
There you go. I dig it. I'm down for it. Also, give me a form that doesn't suck for Meteor. That'd be great. Thanks.
Impossible.
The base suit isn't bad.
Instead of stars, it's just a bunch of rings. He just looks like Saturn.
That's fine. Honestly, it can't be any worse than Stormbreaker, whatever the hell it's called. Meteor Break. Whatever.
Meteor Storm, yeah.
Meteor Storm. There you go. Whatever that stupid, awful Pikachu form is. Oh my goodness.
Kamen Rider Meteor Storm.
Meteor Storm.
Ready?
Oh my goodness.
I'm sorry, but yeah, I mean, I think it depends on the franchise too, because Blade and O's are more grounded than what Gaim would be, and what perhaps Drive would be.
For Gaim, honestly, my thing would see, like, I want to see a role reversal. Like, maybe
Michi?
Either that, or maybe Kota went Old Testament, if he's Space Jesus.
Ooh, interesting.
So, that kind of thing.
Then Michi would have to do something.
Michi would have to do something. Maybe he gets Yamato Higiri back, because that form's beautiful, and I love it. So
Yamato Higiri. I mean, I don't know. I think if I were to pick, I would like to see Kiva.
Kiva would be cool. Like I said, all of those seasons that were kind of like meh to not great, I would love to see them do movies that are just tight and good and like have a lot of love in them, kind of like this.
Talk about another guy who doesn't age, Toya. Otoya.
Yeah.
Otoya. He didn't.
Yeah. As long as we make another like Grease Kiva reference, I'm down for it. So.
Grease. What was your take on Grease Perfect?
The castle form or whatever. It was fine.
It's fine.
It was
I
fine.
liked it. I like it.
I liked Blizzard better, but it's fine.
Of course you did.
Yeah. But I also expected something that neither of them got, which was the double fist form. So we'll see.
Apologize for that.
How do you have two boxing knuckles and not make a double fist rider like that? Come on now. I got to write everything for you guys. What are you doing?
Because they got the clamps. They got the clamps instead.
Well, that's fine, I guess. I mean, we goddamn right I am. So it evened out.
Dicktail.
Yeah. So that's 10th anniversary O's. It is available now. Overtime subs just put it up in the places you know where to find it. And yeah, I think Hawk is also streaming it at some point today. If you're watching this live, you can check it out there. I think he's gonna.
Shout outs to Hawk.
I think he's gonna show the movie. You guys can watch it there. But it is quite good. I highly recommend it if you're a fan of O's or if you're just a fan of Kamen Rider in general. I recommend checking it out. Yeah, let's get to some news. Let's do some news.
Yeah, what's up in the news, man?
So we're gonna save the big one for last. We already talked about it a little bit.
There's a big one. Oh, it's a big one.
There's a big one. So first thing is they've announced a new Ultraman comic. It is called Another Gene, and it has very Trigger style to it. And it's a comic releasing exclusively on Tsuburaya Imagination in July 2022. Features characters and plot points from Ultraman Jeed, light novels, and was releasing in April.
So it's a continuance of Jeed?
I guess it looks like. I know the Jeed takes place at the end of Ultraman Jeed, yeah, and depicts the rise of the next generation of heroes. Interesting. So,
great.
We'll see. Yeah, can't get any worse. I liked Jeed's form when he showed up in Zet. That was pretty dope. I was down for that.
Was it the Bellio form? Is it just the evil straight up?
No. Did you never see that form? I gotta find that form for you. Okay. So the form he gets is by far his coolest one. Because it has a lot of really cool colors, a lot of really cool things going on. And there it is. I don't remember what it's called, but there's the picture. I will copy this into the Discord.
Oh my god, thank you.
He got this form in Ultraman Zet, and it is gorgeous.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he got that form, and I was like, okay, I'm here for anything you do with Jeed from now on if he keeps this form.
What is that form? What's it called?
So this is the Ultraman form. Ultraman. I'm trying to find it.
But I'm biased because it has armor, bro. I can't help it.
Let's see what that form's called.
Dude.
It's dope.
I mean, it has the same palette, so it's not like an unusual appearance for Ultraman.
Galaxy Rising. There you go.
Galaxy Rising. Yeah. It's just an armored Ultraman, and
it's just an armored Ultraman,
look,
and I'm
that's not a bad look.
Down for it. And this is also the one I believe he starts using when he gets the Z Riser, which is the new thing that they used in Zet. Yes, it is. So he gets that power when he, uses Zet's little gimmick device.
Oh, so it's a temp form, but
no, he keeps the thing afterwards.
He keeps a gimmick. Yeah. Nice,
but that's his X and Orb combination. Yeah. So they're doing a continuation of that. Looks interesting. We'll see. I don't know. I'm indifferent.
I like that.
Yeah. Next up, on Tokusatsu Network, if you want to check it out, some Tokusatsu cosplay at KatsuCon, which actually isn't too far from us.
Maybe we'll check it out.
Yeah, it's over in Maryland. So a whole bunch of pictures of the cosplays on there. I'm surprised to see how many there are. That's dope. They did announce SH Figuarts Jean in the Cobra form, and let's see what she comes with.
Ace. Ooh.
She comes with her weapons.
The fan, the cannon, and that's it, right?
just the cannon or the fans. It looks like, actually, I don't know. Peacock, yeah, just the peacock stuff, but still pretty cool. I'm sure they'll release some kind of extra thing. They also announced, in the way of Figuarts, Titan, Kuga's Titan form.
What?
Yeah, which is very, very cool looking. I am always a fan of Titan. I am always a fan of big armor. Look at these shoulder pads. And he's able to create the swords from other stuff and do his thing. So I believe that covers all of the base forms. They haven't done all the mighty ones yet, just his base mighty. But the evolved ones, whatever they are.
Yeah.
So those will probably be next. He's got his evolved base forms. The extra forms, whatever you want to call them.
Gotcha.
So those will probably be next. But that is coming out in August. So I'm sure you keep an eye out for pre-orders there. What else we got? Avatar Sentai Dawn Brothers is doing its thing, and the big one, we have some visuals for Kamen Rider Black Sun. So,
bro, can I tell you how stoked I dropped my phone? I dropped it. How hype I was. I was like, oh my god,
yeah,
oh my god, that looks amazing.
Yeah. So this is a very, we were talking about the SICOs earlier. This is a very SIC style design.
So much.
And I'm here for it. It's very chitinous. It's very organic looking. It's very dope looking. And I like these little kind of like red and orange sun colors that are underneath the armor. Almost, it makes them look almost like this is like cooled lava on top. Is kind of the vibe I'm getting for Black here. And then Shadow Moon, they also released pictures for. Similar design, except he's got these big flared out tendril things coming off of him.
It's like, it's like the Blastoise shoulder cannon type thing. So I was like, that's not bad, but
pretty sick. And the belts as well are kind of cool looking. Very simple, yet you could probably put some stuff in there and make some gimmicks out of it. I'm just saying.
Yeah, man.
And they also released a picture of their motorcycles, and Black's is infinitely more interesting to me than Shadow Moon's. Shadow Moon's is kind of boring looking, in my opinion.
I didn't see Black's.
I can copy this picture here. Boop, boop, boop.
Popping that in the Discord.
Yep.
Nice.
So there's your motorcycles. Shadow Moon's, like I said, is very basic looking, while Black's is much more interesting looking, like old school Harley. Yeah. There's some people working on this. There's some peeps. So it has just finished wrapping filming, and the director, who is Kazuya Shiraishi from The Blood of Wolves and The Devil's Path. I'm not familiar with those projects. He says, I'm burnt out. I'm just pure white ashes now.
Damn. So that. I mean, it should attest to how hard they were going. So, okay, I'll take that. I'll take your pure white ashes.
Yeah. I have nothing but thanks to the filming staff and cast for giving their all. My heartfelt gratitude goes to them. Now for making a truly interesting production that I want everyone to see soon. Filming has concluded, but now we're moving to the finishing touches. With a fresh mind, I will put all of my power in making the best it can be. Everyone, please look forward to this.
We are, my friend.
Other peeps we got working on this is Zumi Takahashi is the scriptwriter. Kiyotaka Taguchi is the director of Ultraman Z. He's the lead special effects dude. Shinji Higuchi is the director of Shin Godzilla, is doing the visual concept designer, so that explains a lot. And it is set to premiere fall of this year. So we
don't even have that much of a wait, bro.
We don't,
because you know how time has been going lately. It's just a hop and a skip away.
It is already halfway through March, almost finished March. So
there, I put up the Black Sun and Shadow Moon in the Discord.
Yep.
So God, look at them. Look at them.
They look gorgeous as usual, and I'm interested to see what these belts do. So yeah, I'm also very interested to see their henshins.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if they're gonna be as graphic as Shin, but I'm expecting.
I don't expect the full dance. I can tell you that.
If he doesn't do the dance at least once, don't make the movie. You need the dance.
All I need is this. That's all I need.
That's what. Okay, fair enough. I'll give you that. But the voice too. Yeah. You got to be close. Okay.
Henshin. Yeah. So we'll see. I'm sure we'll get a trailer if it's coming out this fall. I'm sure we'll get a trailer in the next couple months. Probably about 6 months before it releases. So we'll see. I mean, we had the Shin Kamen Rider trailer drop not too long ago. Thanks, Toei, for flagging that one. Appreciate you. But yeah, I'm excited to see where this one goes. It is what it is. But that's pretty much all I had. The biggest thing is this Black Sun stuff.
Yeah, man, I'm excited for that.
I'm very excited. I'm down for edgy dark heroes. So yeah.
So in terms of what we got lined up, I think I saw the Parahero show available.
Yep.
I did want to check that out.
Yep, we can check that out.
And then I think we're going to touch on Dawn Brothers next time.
Yeah, we're going to check out some Dawn Brothers. I have not seen it yet. So we're going to watch the first couple episodes, whatever ones we can find. I think it's, 3 is this week?
So far, yeah.
So
we give it a couple episodes, get a flavor.
Yeah, and I mean, the whole team usually isn't even in the first episode, and I don't think they were in this first one anyway. So hopefully by like episode 2 or 3, we get the mech, we get the full team, we get all that kind of stuff. Get a solid.
I expect we'll get an idea.
Yeah, solid idea of what we're going with here, the characters, that kind of stuff. So we'll see. I want it to impress me. I really do. Because my gut reaction right now, I do too, but I'm trying to go into it with a positive mind. So
I might actually just trudge through it though, because I watched Dino Fury and I thoroughly enjoyed that.
Okay.
So I'm palate cleansing as I go along.
Okay. I probably won't finish Zenkaiger. It is what it is at this point. So I mean, Sentai has always been kind of whatever. I'm exploring the older ones and having a blast doing it. Like I'm finishing up Gao Ranger right now. I'm on episode 30 something, so I got a little bit left. Okay. Their final mecha, the Gao Icarus, just showed up with a big falcon and all that stuff, and this is now their like 5th mech, I think, something ridiculous like that.
It gets that ridiculous there.
It's one of those where it's like there's 2 main ones and then they swap parts left and right. So like
upgrade. That's not bad though. I like that shit.
No, yeah. So you got the 6th Ranger, he's got his own, and then the main one is Gao King. He's your typical one, and then Gao Muscle is their secondary mech that they can use, and they all swap pieces with each other. So
like that.
Yeah, pretty cool. I like Gao Ranger a lot. It's fun. I'm enjoying it. But that'll just about do it for me. If you want to follow me on any of the other stuff, usually Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. Obviously this is a little bit of a weird time stream, but it is what it is. We're still going to stop by tomorrow and do something. Maybe we'll play some Strangers of Paradise so you guys can check out that weird nonsensical thing. But we'll figure out something for tomorrow. But you can follow me twitch.tv/KaijuCarl if you're listening into the audio, or in the future times. Yeah.
You can find me at 6echoes.se@gmail.com. Drop me your creepypasta stories. Drop me any ideas you have for the Kamen Rider Tokudon project. I have a bunch of stuff coming out for that. If you're interested in voice acting, definitely hit me up, because I definitely want to talk to you. That's it for me.